1195 was when he granted them. But if you ever go there, go and at least listen to the Shandon bells. Not when some American is pulling chains on them and they're going blah, 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 blah. But when they're doing something, when the Shandon bells are really ringing, like at 6 o'clock in the evening when they ring the Angelus. It really is a very distinctive sound, and it's something that is totally Cork. I wasn't aware that you could go up and just bang away on them. I didn't know you could do that, because my recollections of Cork is when the Shandon bells broke out. I mean, you listened. They were, and I think it was. Well, I suppose you had bell ringers for a long time, but I know that in much modern times, even in the 70s, I would think they had some kind of computerized, some kind of mechanized bell ringers. But it's something to listen to and to hear, and I have sat and listened to it and understood why Corkonians are incredibly patriotic, incredibly proud of their city. I want to talk very quickly. I don't know if I have some notes on it here somewhere about the actual university, because it is known and considered and thought of both in Ireland and in Europe today as a great university city. And in fact, it was the cultural city. Every year, Europe adopts one particular city and it becomes the cultural capital of Europe for that year. I think Barcelona was last year. And it's very high honor to be chosen. I mean, all the big cities compete with one another for like years in advance. And so for Cork to have been the European capital, cultural capital, acknowledges that it is considered a great cultural city. And one of the reasons is its university. So I'm going to quickly, apart of course from the fact that it's university and it started as a university town under Finbar, the school of Finbar. And that's why it's so nice that their motto is where Finbar taught, let Munster learn. I just think that's so neat that that's the motto of the university. The modern university started in 1845 by Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria endowed it together with 3 other universities, Belfast, Cork and Galway. So they were known in my time as Queen's Universities. So still, even though, Belfast is just known as Queen's, so everybody, I went to Queen's, but others will correct me and say, I went to Queen's too, but I went to Queen's Galway. But only the West Brits would refer to it as Queen's College Galway. But officially it was Queen's College Galway, actually down until 1908. Or was it 1909? 1908, right. Because I always kind of marvel at the fact that it became the National University of Ireland was formed under the British in 1908, shortly after Victoria died. So it's always kind of like they wait for her to die, and they renamed the universities as the National University of Ireland. Officially, because it was still under still a United Ireland, Queen's University in Belfast became the National University in 1908. We try and tell them that. It's still Queen's. It's Queen's University. Although it's totally dominated by Catholics now, Queen's University is a Catholic, Sinn Féin almost dominated university. So is Trinity. So that shows how much they have reclaimed back their heritage. But I just thought it was always kind of like funny that it was no longer Queen's University shortly after old Victoria died. But the National University of Ireland included the National University in Dublin. So the they just became University College so-and-so. So most people would say they went to UCG, UCC, or UCD, University College Dublin, University College Cork, and so on, or Queen's in Belfast. Now, in more recent times, in actually 1997, they rearranged the system slightly, where they enlarged the NUS, the National University. It's no longer the National University. I'm not sure why, but just the National University, and it includes other universities like Maynooth, for instance, which is now part of the. So they tend to now refer to them as NUI Galway, NUI Cork. I'm not sure which is the official designation of them, and also NUI Limerick, NU Limerick. So that the National University now sort of is the degree-giving body, and these are in their universities. But the university, they don't confer. You don't get a degree from Cork, or you don't get a degree from Galway. You get a degree from the National University in whatever it is, but you studied it at Cork or you studied in Galway. So, little change there. It's probably a good thing because it has streamlined everything. They have a very, very good university system in Ireland. But so now you don't have sort of like a little elitist group, or it doesn't matter if you get your degree in medicine, you get it from the National University of Ireland. That's it. So NUI Galway would be the correct thing to say that what you got, or you just got an NUI degree. Interestingly enough, I just want to mention one thing, that the Queen's University Cork graduated the first 2 women doctors in the British system in British Isles in 1898, 20 years before Oxford, which was the first in Britain. So Ireland was very progressive in many respects. It also, by the way, the Cork University was the place to have got your medical degree in the English-speaking world. If you went to Canada or went to Australia or New Zealand, or maybe not in America, because America has gone its own way, but in the old English system, a doctor that had gone to Queen's in Cork was considered to be the best. He'd get the job before anybody else. Yeah, it had an incredible reputation for medicine. So it's not surprising that it graduated the first women. I haven't really. Most people, when they think of Cork today, they think of football and think of sports, and they think of the rebellious periods, the Black and Tan Wars, and I really haven't got into that very much, because most of it already anyway, and it's not, the fact that it was the primary battleground for so much of the in the War of Independence is kind of sad, but I don't think it's something that I want to particularly dwell on. I think probably for most Americans the thing that they think of is the Annie Moores. I think that sums it all up, don't you think? You that were there. That's the most poignant statue, and that probably 2 million that immigrated in maybe a period of maybe 1847 to 1857, certainly during that. It tapered off about the mid-50s, and then it never really let up. It became a continuous stream, and had a huge impact on America. I mean, when you think about it, huh? I mean, it had an enormous...
So where did they come to America? From Cork to East Coast mostly? Or?
During the famine, they all went to Canada, what they called British North America, surprisingly enough, for many reasons. The Americans got tired of the standard of ships. They would anchor, or they would not anchor, but they would stop outside New York Harbor and literally clean out all their garbage. and it would kind of float around out there. And the American authorities chased them away, the British. The British captain, they were freelancers, talk about privatization. You know, there was no regulations. They just did what they pleased. So their condition, the conditions were awful, and they had about a 30-40% mortality rate on the way over. They didn't care because you paid up front. When you got to America, didn't bother them the slightest. So the Americans had imposed strict for the time, probably still barbaric to us, but standards that a ship had to pass before entering American waters. So you could not discharge your passengers without having taken aboard a pilot for number one and a health inspector number two.